I've chosen this article because it outlines what language does for the effect that you want to reach, which is a very important question for a diplomat. A diplomat has one of his main tools the language that he or she uses, and it's therefore very important to understand what the effect is of what you say on the audience that you want to reach. Looking into the question of climate change, where we look at a big societal transition, where we want to have people to also change their behavior, it is very important to understand what the effect is of the language that you use. As a climate envoy, I have a double mandate. First of all, I represent the Netherlands internationally when it comes to issues dealing with climate change in the UN, in the EU, the G20. But there's another side of the mandate that is national. What we conclude and what we agree upon internationally, like the Paris Agreement, has to be implemented nationally. Those are two sides of the same coin. And when I do my work domestically, I notice, and that is empirical evidence or experience, that the narrative that I use, the message that I send, has a different effect on different audiences. And the article that I recommend to you goes into that field. It explores the effect that language has on the behavior of people, on the acceptance of the message. It looks into the political orientation of the audience. And if you understand, and that is something that I understand from an empirical point of view, I know that this is the case, but I do not exactly know what kind of language has what kind of effect on the specific audience that I meet. Of course, I do not always know what the political orientation is of the audience that I meet, but to understand what kind of effect a chosen word or a chosen language can have on the audience is very important for the objectives that I want to reach. Coming from the Paris Agreement and really from a public policy perspective, where you want bigger groups of people to be involved in the societal transformation that we stand for, you need to have as many people on board as possible. And my experience is that the alarmist message, that just only painting the picture of melting ice caps and large scale disasters coming to us, is not having the desired effect. So we have to think of a new kind of narrative for different kinds of audiences. We have to become more professional in the narrative that we use. And this article, I think, is a beginning to explore that field. I think it asks for more research. This is also a question to them or to others seeing this, to do a similar kind of study for a Dutch public, because I think there's a difference there. And maybe also widen its scope to the broader public policy domain, not necessarily sustainable development diplomacy, but just getting into the kind of narrative that you have to use to have people, first of all, accept the concept of climate change, but next to that also the imperative to act.